Calling all football fans in the UK, it's official. GFN Soccer TV has launched on Samsung TV Plus. All the banter, all the news, all the time.
Oh my God!
I'm enjoying the gang being back on the show as well.
Licks!
He is scared.
That's for my girlfriend only, that okay?
On top of a bus stand.
Robbie's a man who's experienced in other dance style.
Here we go, Robbie whining on a bus stop at Carnival.
About me winding up with some girl at a bus stop.
Of course, a few wines in me pastime.
Little rat.
Welcome to Diary Room, where you could lose your life at any moment.
I don't want to see you in this building anymore, right?
Welcome to Diary Room.
Taking place this weekend in Las Vegas. Canelo Alvarez taking on Terence Bud Crawford, pitting two of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world today.
In the last few years, I haven't watched Canelo box and been like, wow, like I used to be. I remember when he was like crowned King Canelo, and I felt that. And I haven't felt that for a long time. When he faced Bivol, he struggled there. You know, he struggled, and Bivol's a mover, Crawford's a mover. There's just so many layers to it. But I think the thing about Crawford is, in my opinion, whenever he starts fighting, there might be a couple of rounds in there where I'm like, oh gosh, he's looking a bit troubled. And then, as you say, Pest, like he just turns it round.
And I just think Terence Crawford is a once-in-a-lifetime guy. He has what I call that elite ring mentality, that type of refusing to be beaten.
Canelo is at the natural weight. He's bigger. I haven't seen Crawford at 160. And prior to interviews, Crawford was saying he can't get to there. I know when you want something badly, you make it happen. Ah, man, I want Crawford to win.
Champions again. Champions again. Ole, ole.
Yo, Big Foo, what are you saying?
Mewa.
Champions League, you're a champion now, yeah?
Hey, listen, I've waited 17 years for one of these babies. I'm gonna milk it for every second. Have you spoken to Coach Cams yet?
He ain't picking up my calls.
Let me give him a bell. I know he's still sore about that Europa League loss.
All right, cool. No worries, bro. Let me know.
Bathe with you. I'm gonna eat with you. I'm gonna sleep with you.
You are culture cams. You are powerful. You are...
Hello.
Coach Cams, how's your summer been, brother?
My summer's been brilliant. Well, what do you want?
Listen, man, summer's over. Rest time is over. We got business to attend to, brother. FCM. Maze is headed down there now. I'm on my way there now.
All right, cool. I'm gonna be there.
Let's go.
Season 3, we're back.
This is FCM on DR Sports, and it's live.
Catch all the best shows from your favourite fan channels on GFN Soccer TV, now streaming on Samsung TV Plus.
Yes, guys, welcome along to the Fantasy Football Show here on DR Sports.
You take Haaland out and suddenly you can do so much.
In terms of goals and assists, he's right up there.
Alex won't go up against me now because he doesn't even like Trent.
Who's going to get the most points in FPL this year?
Surely that's too cheap.
I am the former world number 307.
Yeah. He's just taking the number 7 shirt. To me, that says you are starting every game.
Oh, yeah. So, Reece James, best right back in the world.
Oh my God!
I'm enjoying the gang being back on the show as well.
Licks!
He is scared.
That's for my girlfriend only, that okay?
On top of a bus stand.
Robbie's a man who's experienced in other dance style.
Here we go, Robbie whining on a bus stop at Carnival.
About me winding up with some girl at a bus stop.
Of course, a few wines in me pastime.
Little rat.
Welcome to Diary Room, where you could lose your life at any moment.
I don't want to see you in this building anymore, right?
Welcome to Diary Room.
GFN Soccer TV, with all your favourite shows in one place, is now live in the UK with Samsung TV Plus.
Yes, everybody, welcome back to DR Sports live at 5. We're here to break down all the latest football news, all the latest football stories, and at the moment, as we are right in the middle of the match day 1 of the Champions League, we're here to review yesterday's games, preview tonight's games, and anything else that might pop up in the next 1 hour that we're going to be talking about. My name is Dylan, I'm your host tonight, and on my left, Abby's return.
Hi.
Second show in a row live at 5.
It's good to see you. People are going to start asking when I'm going to wash my hair. It will happen. Don't worry, guys.
And then we've also got, representing Arsenal on the other side, we've got Laurie. Back again, back on live at 5.
Oh, it's always a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
It's always a pleasure.
People are saying that I live in this studio, but hey, I consider that a compliment, man. Great to be back.
Yeah, I think it's always fun, always nice, live at 5, prime time show. Remember, we are here live every weekday, 5 p.m, 5 to 6 o'clock, breaking down all the news here and there. And there's plenty of content, obviously, coming across DR Sports, as always. But we're going to start off. I want to, Abby, ask you first. How was your experience last night? So obviously you went to the game.
Good. It was good to be back. I hadn't been to Spurs this season yet. I'd only done a few last year because of work as well. So it was nice. Under the lights, like you actually can't beat it. Like that Champions League theme tune. They had a little light show before, had a little montage. It was good. It was nice to be back. I can't lie. And obviously just got a win. Like first half arguably was better than the second. I mean, I don't know if United are still in the market for a keeper, but I found another one for them because he was giving Onana and Bayern a run for their money.
Really?
Without own goal, he was terrible. Their keeper, I think his name was Junior. But yeah, it was all in all good game. Got the job done. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. What's the word? Maybe a little bit more like attacking prowess from us. I think just finding like the synergy between Jed Spence and Xavi Simons needs a little bit more work. Kudus. I actually love him as a player. I just think maybe like cleanness on like the final pass, the final ball needed a little bit of work yesterday. Bergvall again had an exceptional game.
He scored, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it technically goes. I think it went down as an own goal. It went down, but yeah, it was own goal, but through Bergvall. Again, another clean sheet. Loving it, loving the fact that
unprecedented territory for you, isn't it?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm seeing clean sheets and I'm celebrating those like wins in my own little head because I haven't been lucky enough to see that for such a long time. Look, all in all, a really good night. Nice to be back in the Champions League, and enjoyable overall. I was with Hugo last night, so that was a nice little Hugo, nice corporate night.
Oh right, sorry.
It was nice. I can't really knock it. Yeah, I mean, I was meant to sit in my actual seat, but then the hospitality came calling. So
got the call up. You can't
say no. Can't say no to a little bit.
I was gonna ask you, who stood out for you on the night? Because I admittedly didn't watch the game, but I went on FOTMOB this morning to look at things, and Van der Ven had a big star next to his name. He looked like he was very good. Who's been standing out for you? Especially, it was a big night for Tottenham. It was your first time back in the Champions League in a while. Some Champions League debuts, obviously, and first time playing in Europe for some players, I think.
Yeah.
Or Champions League for some players. So who really stood out for you? Was it the stats right, or was it Van der Ven?
I would say, like in general, like defensively, I thought Romero had a really good game, as did Mickey Van der Ven. Just defensively, they're very, very solid. It's one of those things. I think I mentioned it yesterday. I've only seen them play together. I think it was 17 times over the last 2 seasons, which is not very much. And every time we've obviously been so much more defensively sound. If they can stay fit. There was that little shout where it was potentially given away a pen. They reviewed it. It was outside the box. But yeah, he was brilliant, as was Romero. Give him his flowers too. I thought, again, Bergvall for me, I think he got player of the match. And deservedly so. I mean, I can't fault this boy. I mean, it's one of those things where you don't want to go too early, but I will, because there are so many good shades that I'm seeing of him. He's got so much potential. He was meant to go to Barca before he came to Tottenham. He preferred the project to Tottenham for development. And what a signing. Like, being thrown into the deep end last season with how many injuries that we actually had, I don't think anyone thought he would get the amount of minutes that he did last season. He's really grown into that role. And like, I don't want to do the cold comparison because this will come back to bite me, but he has got shades of a little Luka Modric.
Ooh, interesting.
That's a big call, man.
Obviously, Luka Modric as well, looking like he's 26 again back in Serie A.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been looking class so far.
He's a timeless gem. But I'm not saying it's a direct comparison. I'm just saying that when I look at him on the ball and how good he is, and just the passing range, and just he's wonderful to watch. And he's still so young. I think he's only 20 or maybe.
No, he does.
I think he's 20 or 21 now. But he's really young, and he's just got so much potential. And I think that he's one that, give it a few years, whether or not Spurs are able to keep him will be a different thing, but I expect him to be a very high priority for a lot of European clubs.
Sounds all right. And last thing I wanted to talk, just ask quickly about, it's Thomas Frank's first European game. You think he dealt with it well?
Yeah, I do.
Because it's the first time he's not managed. He's managed an English team, I guess. He's managed an English team against a non-English club. Yeah. Especially at the elite level as it was.
I don't think he looked remotely out of place. I would never have known that was his first game in, under the lights of European night. So, I think he did it right. I think tactics were good. Spurs, they go forward when they need to go forward. They defend really well. You can see exactly what he's trying to do. Very happy with it. I can't really fault Thomas Frank so far since coming in. I mean, he's been, I want to say, he's been a surprise package for me, but he's a good manager anyway. He showed that his time at Brentford, season in, season out. So I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. I like the fact that he can be pragmatic when he needs to be. I love the fact that they can go forward and they can break really well as well. My only thing is just maybe I need a little bit more creativity. That's my only thing I'm looking for. But I think that will come in time, when you are still missing Maddison, you are still missing Kulusevski, which would be a massive, when those players come back and they're fit, that's a huge injection for us as well. You didn't have Solanke last night. We had Richarlison, who arguably didn't have a great game, but I think that give it a bit more time, let them all gel, and then we'll be able to see kind of a little bit more of the free flowing attacking football. But at the moment, I'm really enjoying the defensive masterclass.
Love that. And talking about defensive masterclasses, as Mikel Arteta has been putting on for the last 19 years I've been watching him manage. Arsenal beat Athletic Club 2-0 away from home. I know how it is to go to Athletic Club away from home. United did it last season and we beat them easily, but only after they went down to 10 men. Arsenal, you found it hard to score initially. It took obviously your subs bench to come on, give it some welly. And I just want to kind of, is that a statement of intent kind of win from Arteta? It's kind of, we put our big team out because you've played the same team you played on the weekend and likely going to be very close to the starting 11 that you're going to play against City. Is it just right, we've made our mark on the Champions League, got our, first win in the bag away from home?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a statement of intent because I think as an Arsenal fan, I do have to be honest and say I wasn't overly impressed by Bilbao. I mean, I could see why you guys beat them. And we beat them pretty comfortably in pre-season, and we were all saying, but it's pre-season. But I've got to be honest, I mean, we weren't at our best, that's for sure. We did end up fairly comfortable winners, but we didn't really need to get out of second gear. I mean, I've got to be honest and say that I didn't really rate Bilbao that much. Obviously, their best player wasn't playing, Nico Williams, and that showed. But I was never really felt that threatened. I mean, halfway through the game, I was joking to a couple of the guys we were doing with the watch along. I said that Bilbao to me are like Brentford in disguise. And one or two other people saying they're not even as good as Brentford. And I thought, you know what? That's probably not far off because I didn't. Put it this way, we're going to have to raise our level significantly if we're going to beat City because that performance there yesterday wasn't the best.
No, what was interesting, sorry to interrupt you, we were actually saying on yesterday's show that your kind of reinvigorated front line, adding Madueke, adding Eze, obviously Gyökeres, you wouldn't be as reliant on kind of the players that maybe were going to be more fringe in a Martinelli or a Trossard, but they were the two that actually came on and created for each other.
Absolutely. And shout out to the manager. I mean, I've been one of those, I have been critical of him. You will know this because me and you have spoken, and Abby will know this as well. I've spoken many times before about Arteta's what I call lack of in-game management at times. Too cautious, doesn't make the subs early enough. They're too light for light. But I've got to shout him out because yesterday he made the substitutions early. They were attacking subs. And both substitutions, Martinelli and Trossard, both got a goal and an assist each. It was in an otherwise fairly drab affair.
You could not ask for more from either of them. I was going to ask about Martinelli actually because I know there's a lot of tension around him and Arsenal fans, and in the way of thinking, should we move him on because he might not be hitting the heights that you hoped he had a couple of years ago, and he kind of stagnated. I'd say is the best way to put it a little bit compared to when he was younger. But is it potentially, are we going to see a little Martinelli redemption arc this season? Potentially a good reason kept him because Eze didn't look as bright.
No, he didn't.
I don't think, and that might just be first big European away game, or first European away game forever for Eze. He's never had it before. And
I think first and foremost with Eze, there was a conversation amongst Arsenal fans, and indeed my boy Curtis, shout out to Curtis, he called me up this morning, we were talking, and he was saying his observation, and I must say he did make a lot of sense. He was saying having Eze hugging the touchline on the left-hand side, you're not getting the most out of him there. If you're going to play him on the left side, utilise him more as what we call a left-sided forward rather than an outright left winger. So yeah, I would say that. With regards to Martinelli, I'm one of those that I do think him being left out of the team recently is good for him. I think sometimes a player needs a little spell on the bench to period of reflection, a period to improve his game. He said, I think Martinelli's on the record as saying that when he was out, he observed the way that Eze was playing and Madueke, and he said he's already trying to change his approach to certain things, which is good. Sometimes you need a little spell on the bench. He's not been playing well. He's had his chance. You like to think it's a meritocracy, so if he's not playing well, you can leave him out, bring somebody else in.
Do you think it's also where Martinelli hasn't hit the heights that Arsenal fans would have expected him to? Now that there's competition for places, this is kind of where if he's going to get the opportunity to come on, he has to deliver every time he gets that opportunity.
Yes, you're right. I'm a big believer in that. I think competition for places is what ultimately ups the levels of any team in any walk of life. If you know you got somebody that's raring to get your job, that's gonna hopefully motivate you to be better at what you do. Especially in a sporting environment like football, if you know that there's somebody on the bench that who's a good player, and you want to keep that position, you have to produce.
What about Eze then? Would you rather see him in a 10?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
But then therein lies another issue. I don't see the manager ever dropping Odegaard if Odegaard is fit.
It's hard to drop your captain as well because he's got the extra kind of stamp of approval, so to speak.
You say that, but
he's the captain.
You say it's hard. Yes, it is hard, but like I said, it's a meritocracy. If Eze was to come in, occupy that number 10 shirt, have a couple of really good games, why should Odegaard assume that he automatically comes in?
And on top of that, we touched on it yesterday, Odegaard has not always shown up in the big games, in the big moments. There is a reason why we do call him No Odegaard.
Well, no, you call him that.
But it's a valid, fair point.
Who's we in this scenario?
Me. There's a reason I call him that. But
but what about the 2 seasons when he was, amongst the best number 10s in the Premier League?
You can defend him all you like, that's fine. But I'm just saying, on the biggest games when it's mattered, you cannot sit there and say that he's always been able to step up. So if there is a game where you need to play Eze and Odegaard isn't delivering for you, it doesn't matter if you're the captain or not. In my opinion, you've got to do what's best for the team to get the results.
And also, you think Eze is very much someone who does deliver,
100%,
because he's had that on his back at Palace before. One more question I want to ask you, Laurie, before we move on is: so the entire back line and midfield all played 90 minutes, and I'm looking at that, and bar maybe getting Saliba back into the starting 11. I think pretty much that is the team that Arteta will pick for Arsenal against City.
Yeah,
you think maybe someone should have been rested. Maybe Timber should have come off after 70 or 60 minutes instead. Or
you could make a case for that. But
because it'd be 3 games in the space of a week, pretty much.
It would. But I've got to say that yesterday they looked very comfortable.
What about Mosquera? Because I know that a lot of you are very much talking up Mosquera.
Yeah, we're waxing lyrical.
Literally. I saw Kenya putting on her story last night, 13 mil. And I big up to him. He's coming and fitting seamlessly. But would you take him out the side? I mean, obviously, Saliba, again, it's one of those things where we talk about Saka and the Madueke thing. There's no conversation. Is there a conversation when it comes to your backline? Because you do have so many players. How do you fit Mosquera into that?
See, this is where I'm going to sound slightly hypocritical when it comes to Mosquera and Saka. Having said what I said about
meritocracy anymore.
Not a strict meritocracy, but what I'm saying is, I mean, Mosquera's come in, and to be fair to him, he's done really, really well. However, you're talking about Saliba. It's a little bit different to Odegaard, who's been patchy, to say the least. When Saliba's been in the team, he's been part of that team. We've had the best defensive record in the Premier League for the last 2 seasons. Saliba, we all know he's class. Everywhere, even Tottenham fans will tell you that. You know what I mean? He's a class player. Come on.
Are you going to say he's not?
It's not me. There's spirits in this room. They do talking sometimes. They just infect my body. Go on.
Yeah, but I mean, Saliba is one of the top defenders in Europe in his position. I have no hesitation in saying that. That's why the Real Madrid and the likes are coveting him. That being said, though, what Mosquera has done, he's come in and showed that when Saliba's not in the team, the levels do not drop significantly.
Yeah.
But I would expect once Saliba is fit and up to speed, that he will come back. I mean, some people are saying that Saliba will play against City on Sunday.
Realistically, if he's fit, you're playing Erling Haaland. Like you're playing probably arguably, or I don't even say arguably, one of the best strikers in the league or in the world at the moment. He watched watched him quite literally run through us on the weekend. Just gone. I think it's kind of the case of Mosquera's been great, but also, do you want to put Mosquera up against Haaland so early on in his Premier League career as well? Protect him, play the guy that you know is going to do a good job alongside Gabriel.
Yeah, and that's where I stand on that. Likewise with Madueke, he was really good yesterday. Some people are saying, "Oh, that doesn't mean Saka comes straight back in," but
of course
it does.
That's not a conversation.
Because we're talking levels here, you know. What I mean?
That's just not a conversation.
City versus Arsenal as well is a game that should be taken away from, like, it should be put aside when talking about things like players continuing playing on form, because it's a game you have no choice, but you need to win that. Absolutely. You're fighting for a Premier League title. That's a 3 points game for you and them. Same with treat it like a semi-final tie, for example. You can go, Mosquera's been playing well. We're playing a semi-final. Saliba's going to come back in. It's just, you got to play your best starting 11.
And there's even more pressure on that game when you think about we lost to Liverpool, and the margins for error this season, I would say, are going to be very 100%. Slim. So we cannot, even drawing against City is not.
We can't be
enough.
having what we had last season with the James. Is it 1-1? Yeah. You can't
Come
be
on,
having
get
in. Is there a way that you can fit Mosquera in? Is there a way that you can have?
He can play left back. I've seen that. He's done that for Valencia. But listen, we got Timber and Calafiore also playing really well.
And Hincapié can also play at left back. You've got a load of left-sided
hell of a lot of centre backs.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot.
I mean, it's for the most part worked for them.
It's great for them.
Defensively at Arsenal, that we're impregnable almost at the back. You've got Raya, who for me is the best keeper in the Premier League. I know some people might recoil at that suggestion, but I stand with it. I think, taking all things being equal, not just playing out at the back with his feet, I think it's agility, shot stopping. For me,
for me, it's still Alisson.
For
me, it's Alisson, and it's been Alisson for a long
There's
time.
an argument to be had there, for me anyway.
I don't think so.
There's an argument.
Raya's pushing him at the moment.
Raya is definitely.
So there's an argument to be had.
But over the last,
look, he's second again.
Okay, right.
There we go.
He's got the most clean sheets last season.
He's the second best. As with Arsenal,
and it fits. Second again for you. Second again.
It's second again. It's the second place.
No. What I was building up to is that our defence at the moment is outstanding, right?
Yeah.
And I've got no problems there. Midfield, we got very good midfield. We can make a few interchanges here and there. Going forward, we're looking good. So, and I would also say that squad-wise, squad depth, I think it's us and Liverpool again.
You have no excuses.
No excuses. That's what I was
like. You do have no excuses.
3 teams or 4 teams that have no excuses, which makes the season fun.
Who else do you count? Liverpool,
Arsenal. City, Arsenal, and I would say to a certain extent Chelsea. If they've got what was it like? What, £2 million spent?
Chelsea spent a hell of a lot of money.
They spent a lot of money, and they are the Club World Cup champions.
Lopsided.
Chelsea less so. Chelsea less so than the other 3.
No one cares.
Chelsea less so than the other 3. But I still think, Chelsea's aim has got to be to push for the Premier League.
There's no win. I don't think
you can't do what they've done and go, I'd take third. You can't. As a club, they can't.
Yeah, but if I look at Liverpool, Arsenal, and City, and then I put Chelsea in the mix, again, this kind of goes against what Matisse got in my head very early on, right, this season, and that's why I went out of final one standing on week 1. Cheers to my friend. But I don't see that with Chelsea. I don't see them pushing for it. I'd be surprised. They might be. I can't see them being.
I couldn't even beat Brentford.
Currently, from what I'm seeing, I can't see them being higher than 4th. I can't see that.
I would agree.
City, I would have as 3rd currently, but then again, I think I said it to you yesterday. City are the type of team that can click into gear. They can be 10 points behind.
In February, they can win 15 games in a row.
They can be 10 points behind at Christmas and go on and win the league. So I'll never ever write them off. Last season, I think, was generally just a blip for them, and a big rebuild was needed. But I think the only 2 I think have no excuses are you
and Liverpool.
I would agree with that. I mean, the great Thierry Henry has said as much.
Yeah.
He said, look, with the squad, the way we are at the moment, everything's in place. The manager has to deliver.
He has to deliver something.
Has to be something.
And I don't even think at this point it could be a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup. I don't even think it can be that.
I will tell you, if it's a Carabao Cup or FA Cup, hopefully both, as long as we are challenging in the league, because that's your bread and butter. We haven't spent all that much money to be challenging for the Carabao Cup.
You've spent £1 billion now.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, if we just fall short, say we was to push whoever it was, Liverpool City, right down to the wire, and for
And then
whatever
you lose
reason,
on goal difference on the final day. Or
yeah, something like that. And we've still won another trophy or two, then that's
But
acceptable.
you
anything
can't
less,
just finish second. Again.
No. I think that's what Laurie's
Yeah,
saying.
that's what
Is
I'm
that if
saying.
he is second, that has to be at least complemented by winning the FA Cup and the
It's
Carabao
been too
Cup,
long
or
now without a trophy.
Get to the Champions League
See,
final. or trying to
I
lift the Champions
personally
League.
don't even think that's enough on your return. I really don't, and I'm not even saying that just to be saucy.
I see
I'm
that
not.
glint in your eye.
But I think that's.
I'm always hate
would that
watching, you know.
would that be enough to then continue again next season with this again?
My thing is, and I think I've said it for the last 2 seasons, especially last year, that was Arsenal's title to win. Even though Liverpool had the squad they had, having that change, I don't think they had any right to go and win the league in Arne Slot's first season. City, they'd just come off the back of a 4-peat. They can do what they want at that point. I look at you guys, you're in year 6, going into 7 of... the next.
The transition is over.
There's no transition. You've had the backing. You've spent a hell of a lot of money. There has to be a return on the investment.
100%.
I would have said that last season. Okay, you had quite a few injuries last season. Whatever, Liverpool were just being Liverpool last season. But this year there is absolutely no excuses. So for me, if you finish second and you win a Carabao Cup, that's not enough for me.
I think
it's not enough.
I think
to,
it also slightly depends how they finish second.
Let me qualify
If they finish second and they've lost by 9 points, then that's terrible.
There will come a point where, and I actually think Mikel Arteta is a very good coach. I think when you look at where Arsenal were when they took over, including your board as well, because you've had a lot of changes in terms of the amount of expenditure that you've had, the backing that you've had. It's a totally different club from when Unai Emery was there and Mikel Arteta came in. So for me, he has been back more than sufficiently. City is still in a little bit of their own transition because they've got a lot of new players, a lot of new squad, and I'm not being funny, they are allowed to have a few seasons off after what they've done.
And also as well, this season with City, they have just come off the back of being in the US, and they didn't really have a pre-season.
And it might be a little bit slower. But I look at you guys, and there isn't any excuse. There will come a point where Mikel Arteta might have taken the club as far as he can take it, and there will also come a point.
This season will determine that.
Yeah. And if it's not at the end of this season, then how long do you stay at it? Because
you're right. The only issue I see with that, though, and this is something that I've been saying for a long time, me and you and loads of other people have that same opinion. However, to the people that matter, i.e. the board, the Cronkies, they will not sack Arteta. I'm telling you that now. They will not sack him. Even if he wins nothing this season, even if we tail off and disappoint in the league, I cannot see them sacking. The only way I could see them sacking him would be a Wenger-esque type situation.
If you finish 6th,
or
something
then
like that.
What starts to happen is the fans start to stay away on match day, and there's loads of empty seats. That might trigger them. But other than that. Other than that, I don't. But I do agree with you. We've got to win something.
You've learned your lesson in terms of all of that. With you're not going to wait too long to sack someone. But I can see what you mean. They'll keep backing him.
They will keep backing.
But obviously, they weren't the only games in Europe. So there were a couple other games, including an absolute crazy one of Juventus 4-4 Dortmund.
Yeah, I heard.
Crazy game. So I'll tell you. 8 goals, right? You think that's an incredible tie. The maddest part about it is the first goal went in the 51st minute.
Damn.
So it was 0-0 up until minute 50, and then 4 goals in the final 40 minutes.
Damn.
Dortmund went 1-0 up, and then 1-1, and then 2-1 to Dortmund, 2-2. Then Dortmund then go 4-2 up, and then it ends up 4-4 with some beautiful goals being scored, by the way. If you go look at the highlights.
Yeah, I saw the highlights. What was
belters.
crazy about that is that people always tell us about the Champions League, it's very cagey, it's very tactically astute and all that, and then you get crazy games like that.
I think Juventus have had some mad results so far this season, really high scoring games. But also, I remember I mentioned yesterday, I said Kenan Yildiz. I told him he's a player. I said he's spot on. He scored a lovely goal to make it 1-1 to Juventus. But there are 4 more games. Benfica lost at home to Qarabag, which has now set a chain of events which has led Jose Mourinho to go back to Benfica almost 25 years to the day when he initially took charge of them.
Love that.
So Jose Mourinho is already back in football. After
has he been appointed?
1 week hiatus. He's agreed to. He's going to be appointed. Yeah. Then you had Real Madrid beat Marseille 2-1. Mbappe, we'll be talking about yesterday, scored again. Trent injured in the 5th minute of the game, and then now he's been diagnosed with a muscle injury in the femoral biceps of his left leg. He could be back for the Liverpool game, but it's unconfirmed. That is the week that he's meant to, the timeline. His prognosis is that he's returning for around the week of the Liverpool game.
What week? When is that game?
In 4 or 5 weeks, I want to say.
Are they going to throw him in first game back at?
Well, this is what we'll have to see. Maybe his rehab will be delayed by a week.
Would it be fair to say that he's not had a great time at Madrid so far.
He started. This is his third start this season, so his third start in 4 or 5 games they've played, and he's maybe still settling in a little bit. But I think part of it is there's a lot of noise around it because it's an English player playing on foreign soil. You see it all the time. Whenever an English player goes and plays not in the Premier League, quite often there's a lot of noise made about it because it's the only thing to talk about.
And especially the amount of I want to say hype, but I don't know what that was. Just the conversation around him going. Liverpool fans that hate watching every single time he steps onto a pitch because they're still upset about him leaving and having aspirations. And, in general, you always look at players that do go abroad, especially to Madrid, with the track record of English players going to do that. And it's not always been successful.
No.
But I think we even spoke about it yesterday. There is always a lot of... We spoke about it with the Mbappe thing yesterday, that there is so much pressure.
The shirt wears heavy.
Absolutely. When a big player makes a big move and going to Madrid, whether it's a big money move or just a big player in general.
You saw it with Bellingham during the was it the World Cup? No, the Euros. During the Euros when he was playing for England and he was English people were still angry with him.
But this is what the culture's like. I mean, the media love to build a player up. They'll build you. Just like with anything, anyone that's in the limelight, and then they will absolutely love to tear
I
you
also
down.
think sometimes with English players, I've seen it a little bit with Harry Kane as well. There's all that kind of grudging type of sort of
I will never
psychology where players go abroad. It's almost like people want them to fail, so they say you should never have left.
But this is why people. This is just the world culture. People are horrible.
I know.
But I will never ever get over this conversation about Harry Kane, where years ago people were saying, "Should Calvert-Lewin start over Harry Kane?" And I will never ever. As a Spurs fan or just a general football fan, anyone that was trying to have that narrative and say, should Calvert-Lewin start over Harry Kane, actually needs they need to just touch grass. They need to have a word with themselves because this conversation has always been there. Should Watkins start over Harry Kane? Should this one start? Should Ivan Toney? No, it's a flat out no. No one should ever be starting over Harry Kane.
No, but to be fair, there have been times when he has laboured a bit, played through injury, and you wanted Southgate to be proactive.
But that's on the manager. That's not on Harry Kane.
But at the end of the day, he's such a good striker that you can't not play him. Yeah.
No, he's amazing.
You don't.
And what I found interesting about when Kane went to Bayern Munich, there was 2 schools of thought. There was some saying, he's stuck in a comfort zone at Tottenham. He needs to leave. So then when he does leave, people say, who was it? There was a famous player or ex-player who said, he's gone there, he's a bit of a flat track bully, he should have gone to Madrid if he really wanted to test himself. I'm like, bro, the guy's left, he's gone to Bayern, he's doing the business there.
He's got saying, it's easy 90 goals in 95
Yeah, they're saying, it's too easy almost.
Disrespect, it's Harry Kane.
I think, he can't win.
I'll always defend him.
It's always a big topic of conversation.
No, he's a class act.
when they go through, but
crazy.
Yeah, so Trent will be back soon. PSV lost 3-1 to USG. I'm not going to try and pronounce their name as I tried to do yesterday. And that was the end of yesterday's results in the FA Cup. But 3 games in the Carabao Cup happened. Villa were knocked out by Brentford away on penalties. They finally scored their first goal. Yeah, exactly. They finally scored their first goal of the season. Harvey Elliott getting his goal on his first start. But then their struggles go on. They're 19th in the Premier League. No goals scored. Was it 2 points?
Dare I say, any other manager, well, not any other manager, but there's a few that are almost untouchable. And kind of Emery's kind of in that ilk. Because any other manager, man, fans might have been turning already.
But you have to look at what Unai Emery's done since he came in and took over Aston Villa, right?
He's done great.
From where he's taken them, I think they were in the relegation zone when he came in.
Yeah.
Gerrard had them in tatters.
Absolutely terrible. So you look at the progression over the last 3 seasons since he came in. Villa in the they're in the Champions League. They're playing European football. They are. He's kind of brought them back to the big club that they were.
They want to be.
They aspire to be.
They aspire to be. They were a sleeping giant for such a long time. And I just feel when it comes to Unai Emery, you might feel different because obviously he's managed your club. And I don't know how this ends, but they've just had a dodgy start to the season. It can happen.
It's a dodgy start to the season and it's not scoring.
I think it's a bit more than dodgy though, isn't it?
But is this something
they're second bottom as we speak?
Yes, but it can click into gear. They've still got great players. Morgan Rogers doesn't become a bad player overnight. Ollie Watkins
doesn't become a zero strike. Zero goal striker.
Sometimes things just need time to gel again. But do you think this is a thing with Unai Emery, who has been your manager at Arsenal? Is this something that you would have maybe foreseen coming with Villa? Is there a point where it gets to a burnout? I haven't foreseen it coming, but I see shades of what's happening at Villa as what happened at Arsenal. Is that when things start to go a little awry, he can look. It goes very awry. Yes.
Do you think he just kind of hits the ceiling at some point and then doesn't quite get
it's
there?
Almost like the message just stopped going through to the players. And that definitely happened at Arsenal, where you got to that point where you thought, we know he's a good manager, man, but this is only going one way.
It's a bit weird that it suddenly happened.
Do you think they did enough in the summer, though, to strengthen that squad?
No.
Well, if they're signing Harvey Elliott and Jadon Sancho on loan deadline day, that's not enough. Especially
I was going to mention that.
Like when they knew they weren't signing Rashford and they knew they weren't signing Asensio right at the beginning of the summer. They decided that in June.
Yeah.
And then
their
their replacement is to end up going back to Man United and shopping for a different, worse winger than the one they decided not to sign.
You know what it is, right?
Can you blame it all on Unai Emery?
Exactly. There's a common recurring theme in the Premier League, and it's undisputed. If you are not improving your team year on year, effectively you are going backwards, because guess what? The other ambitious teams will be. So you will not just stand still, you will regress, because this league is so competitive, it's so dynamic that other teams are constantly upgrading.
The only caveat would be Liverpool last year.
Yeah, they're one off though. But
then I think they won that league because everyone else was worse than them, rather than them being incredible. It's a boring season last season.
But every team that does not bring players in and seek to improve, there's only one way it's going.
Even if you're just refreshing your squad by like one or two players, like Sir Alex Ferguson was the best at doing it. He never went and, I guess, did like 5-6 players in one go. He would just take.
He'd always buy 3 or 4. Every season was 3 or 4, and often at least 1 or 2 of them was from another Premier League team.
Yeah, and he would
he'd
say
go
that's
and buy
the best
Andy
player.
Cole, or you go buy, like, say, Roy Keane, for
or
example,
Van Persie, or
Van Persie. He goes and shops in best of the rest category.
Dare I say, a similar thing happened to us in our transfer window last summer when we needed to make replacements. We stalled and stalled. It didn't happen. We brought in Raheem on the last day, literally, and look at that. I'm a big fan.
And if you had done better, you might have won the
disaster.
league. Yeah,
exactly. So if we'd have gone out there and done our due diligence, brought the players in.
They also have, so one of the comments has also mentioned Villa do have FFP issues, but also it's because 95% of their earnings go on wages. So to a certain extent, like, they have FFP issues, but I think they also kind of made their FFP issues. Like they've brought in Jadon Sancho, who's on a mad contract, and they're paying 80% of it. It's stuff like that.
That's how their club is
it's
run.
It's just how it is.
The problem with that and the FFP thing is also, you look at someone like Newcastle, who I expected to have a far better window than they did, irrespective of them losing Isak. Again, your hands are kind of tied to a certain extent when you are kind of those clubs that are trying to break into that kind of top 6 mould, and you can't.
It's becoming impossible.
You can't do it.
At least with Newcastle,
impossible.
though, they were always trying, weren't they? There was that issue whereby, for whatever reasons, players wouldn't go there, and then in the end, they did make that sign of Walter Marder, which I think would be a good sign.
But if you asked them in the summer, if you asked them before the summer window started, what would you have expected as a Newcastle fan? I don't think they would have said.
No, they'd have said, we're going to be signing Mbeumo, we're going to be signing Cunha.
Because they are an attractive, they are a very attractive club. They're a huge club as well.
If you bring in Elanga, I think that would be a good signing.
Elanga's a very good signing, but it's still not enough.
I think Elanga's still the category of signing they need to be making.
You contrast that with Villa, they've done next to
Villa just didn't do anything, and it's coming back to bite them.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got Crystal Palace also beat Millwall on pens.
It's always good to see.
1-1 draw.
Always good to see.
Always fun to see Millwall. And then Grimsby defeated Sheffield United away from home 1-0, showing that they may in fact be just the greatest team in the world.
They might.
And Amram should get.
I wonder why.
Do you feel slightly better about your loss now?
No, it feels even worse, because if we had Sheffield Wednesday next, and it would have been a bit. I'm not going to go into this.
21s played last night, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost.
Right. Okay.
They lost as well.
I was going to say, did you have any joy with that? But
no, they lost 2-1.
Okay. One thing is Wilder taken over there?
He's at Sheffield United, not Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said
so Sheffield Wednesday, who Harry Amas, one of our left backs, is actually on.
But they sacked their manager as well, didn't they?
Yeah, well, the Sheffield team's the 2 bottom of the Championship, I think.
Tell us.
So it's not a good time to live in Sheffield. But today's fixture, we're going to move on.
Go on.
Got today's fixtures, next half an hour, we're going through all of them. Chelsea versus Bayern Munich. That is a tasty game. There's a lot of little storylines there. Obviously, it's a huge Champions League test for Enzo Maresca's team, out the blocks, at home against Bayern Munich. So it is at home against, in front of their own fans, but it's Bayern Munich. Palmer could be fit to start because he came off the bench against Brentford. João Pedro is shouldering a lot of responsibility at the moment, playing up front. Liam Delap's obviously out until about December. And João Pedro, to be fair, has been smashing it so far. He's been great, because at Brighton it was always a case of, can he be consistent? He'd have one game where it'd be great, and then he'd miss a pen and get sent off or whatever in the next game.
Has it been the signing?
Oh, sorry, my bad. I've written down that Chelsea. It's in Munich.
It's in Munich.
So that's my bad.
I was going to correct you.
Yeah,
now. I thought,
it is in
mate,
Munich.
yeah.
Thank you, comments, and thank you, Laurie. Jackson could make his Champions League debut for Bayern against Chelsea.
So we were talking about that the other day. So he can play.
Yeah,
He can play.
it's
He can
European,
play.
so it's
So
fine.
it's all good.
Yeah, there's no.
Wouldn't
he might
it be
might not play.
nice? Wouldn't it be really fun though if he did
Well,
play
if he played
and he
and
like
scored.
bagged a hat trick just for banter?
But then
It'd be-
they'd have to
it'd be-
leave
it'd
out
be great
Kane.
for
They're not
content.
going to do that.
Yeah, but I might actually take that just for the banter side of it. Just to see
I do
if
want to say
Jackson put
comments
three
for the
past
Chelsea fans or Bayern fans. If there are any of you out there and watching, do let me know score predictions for this game. And also, it's going to be one of the first times Diaz and Elise are returning to kind of playing an English club, back on English screens again as a potential wing
Apparently,
pairing.
Diaz has been doing really well at Bayern since he's been there.
Let me do some
Do some
scouting.
digging. This is a good game. This is a bit of a heritage fixture. Maybe not so much the players on the Chelsea side.
Which it's Bayern versus English teams. It's always fun.
Yeah, it
Isn't
is.
it, Laurie?
This is a good game.
Don't say that.
Always fun.
But I would expect Bayern to win. That being said, I expected PSG to be.
Diaz's 4 goals and 2 assists in his
Yeah, he's
first
been
5
doing
games.
really
I
well.
really don't think we can compare when it comes to the Club World Cup because just no one cares.
I
Unless you're Chelsea.
don't know. I think PSG cared. They wanted to win that. You saw the way the players and manager reacted after that game.
Well, I think the
They're very
teams that were
salty
in it
about
wanted to.
Yeah, the
wanted
teams
to
that were
win
in it
'cause
wanted
was
to win.
so
But I don't
expensive.
think general people cared as much.
Well, we were saying this yesterday. I
No,
didn't really care
I
about
didn't
it.
watch
I
one
watched
minute of it.
one game.
I do think Bayern would start as heavy favourites. However, with Chelsea, I think they're one of those teams that they do have the kind of talent that if they spark and they get it right on the day, they can beat you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're one of them type of teams that they have enough star power on the pitch. Pedro, Cole Palmer, and one or two others. Defensively, they're not that solid though.
I think I remember watching Matisse say this recently. He says his main concern is Chelsea's 2 centre backs against Harry Kane.
Yeah, exactly.
He said more than anything, he says he thinks they can match him for the most part on the rest of the pitch. See, they have difference makers like Cole Palmer, and João Pedro has obviously been very good so far. But it's the 2 centre backs against Harry Kane, and obviously we've been talking about how good Harry Kane is on this show so far.
Yeah.
And he's there. He's playing Chelsea. Again, playing specifically Chelsea as well. He might be doing another favour for Spurs fans.
If that's not quite working out, they've got Nicholas Jackson, who would have played in training against these guys every day.
Yeah.
Probably bullied them.
And we'll also have a point to prove.
Yeah, we'll have a point to prove.
Oh,
So,
for
yeah,
sure.
I can't see past a Bayern victory. However, like I said, Chelsea are one of those teams that if they get it right on the day, they can catch you slipping. So, yeah.
Chelsea can hurt anyone on their
I'm
day,
looking
but-
forward to see Elise play again, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
He was so good when he was in the Premier League, and just being, obviously you hear a lot about stuff. At least I don't know how much Bundesliga football you guys watch. I don't watch loads of Bundesliga football, so Elise, I see clips of him still being amazing, but I do, apart from when he's playing against United and just constantly ruining us, I loved watching him play in the Premier League.
I wanted him to come to Arsenal. Right?
I think everyone wanted him. He's an absolutely stunning winger. And then we also got another big tie, Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, this is a nice one.
Another big one, and
Tasty.
it's the so just doing some research into the tie. Liverpool have won the last 2 times the teams played, both home and away in the Champions League in 2021. But obviously everyone remembers the Morata goal in 2020 at Anfield to knock them out. That's seared into my brain. That one is.
I think that will be seared into Liverpool fans' brain.
one of the best hate watches I've ever performed in my entire life. But Julian Alvarez is set to miss his first ever game through injury.
Wow.
Playing
Yeah, I
against
heard that. I
Liverpool,
heard
and
that,
Julian
yeah.
Alvarez has been smashing it
He's a
with
good
them.
player.
So it'll be Sorloth up front, obviously ex-Crystal Palace
Yeah.
player. So he knows the Premier League a little bit, but obviously the Liverpool squad is completely different.
Right.
But yeah,
There is talk that Isak will probably get a start. If not a start, you'll get
I
some
think
minutes
Feature
today.
I think that Slot said that he'll be involved, so
Yeah.
he'll be in the squad. And if he's in the squad, he'll probably come on.
Yeah, I can't
see him starting.
No, you're right. He won't
I
start,
can't
but
see
he
him
will
starting.
get minutes. You don't pay that amount of money for somebody.
but again,
and keep leaving him on the
that
bench.
will also take time. It's not like he really had any pre-season at all, really. So that will take a little bit of time. With Liverpool, obviously, Laurie, you were very defensive about them on Monday's show, saying that it's not luck. And you're right. You actually were right. It's not luck, to pepper a team that much and you finally, get the deadlock broken, even if it's through a silly handball and a pen. They're not Liverpool. They haven't clicked into
No, they
gear yet.
haven't,
They're not. Salah's not clicked into gear yet. I'm not seeing the Liverpool that you usually.
No,
think
they've been
of.
below par by their
Absolutely
standards.
by their standards. So I don't know what Liverpool do we get tonight? Do we get the Liverpool that has I mean, struggling is not really the right word because they've still managed to get the job done. But when you're facing European opposition, you will need to be at that.
They'll have to raise their level.
Raise that game, especially against Atletico. So I'm just interested to see what version of Liverpool we get tonight.
This is something I wanted to raise as well because you saw the game against Burnley where it was 97 to 100 minutes of just hit them. And Atletico Madrid specifically, away from home, Atletico Madrid love to sit there.
Love a low block.
And just stay there.
But here's the difference. When they do get the ball, they'll be far more of a threat than Burnley will. And just to qualify, just to respond to what Abby was saying, it wasn't so much of a defence of Liverpool. It was just me saying, look, because I've seen Arsenal been on the end of that criticism as well. Oh, you're lucky you scored in the 88th minute or the 90th minute. No, it's not luck, bro. The game ends when the referee blows a whistle. Absolutely. Up until that point, you can score at any time. So if you scored in the 90th minute, the 50th, the 21st, the 1st, whatever, it's still a goal. And the point I was trying to make is that in that game against Burnley, you could clearly see that Liverpool were wearing Burnley down constantly. And that applies not just physical pressure, mental pressure as well. So that's why teams end up making mistakes because yet another attack.
You can't have any lapse of concentration.
Exactly.
Well, and the thing is, Atleti is so well versed. Some of the comments are saying they may have changed their system, but we know Diego Simeone.
There's no change.
I've seen him enough over the years to know exactly what Liverpool, Atletico are going to do. They might try and go out the blocks initially. Obviously, they still have Griezmann, etc. Good players, but when it comes to the 64th minute and it potentially is 1-1 or still 0-0. We know exactly how Atletico
they're the kings of the low block. They're the kings of the defending.
It's exactly what they. It's to be 11 men behind the ball.
Yeah, and that will test Liverpool because, in all honesty, like we've been saying, the low blocks which they're going to face pretty much every single week in the Premier League as well, unless you're playing one of the kind of big six clubs, you have to find a way to break that down, which they have been doing. It's just not been at the level or maybe the speed in which we would expect Liverpool to do it.
But it's possibly a big game for a number of, I'd say, actually a few of their new signings. And I'd say if Frimpong, Kerkez and Wirtz are all to start, I'd say it's a big game for them. Is this kind of game, because Liverpool will have so much of the ball, that's obviously where all these players excel. Kerkez excels on the ball and his delivery. Frimpong, when he's pushing high and Liverpool have the ball. When I think the more of the ball Wirtz gets, the better and more confident he becomes as a player. That's what he does on the ball, passing and all this time. So is this the kind of game that they could finally, I'd say Wirtz maybe in particular, arrive at Liverpool, so to speak?
And I don't like to use the price tag, but there is a big price tag on it, and you want to start seeing what you've paid for. 116 odd million, for Florian Wirtz. You want to see something. Kenya said, is he a lawnmower? Which is a valid. I love Kenya so much.
Quotes I've ever heard.
It's such a cold
define
quote.
that in football sense. What does that mean?
She was like, you just want him running blades of grass.
Yeah.
Is he a lawnmower?
Is he a lawnmower?
It's pretty much what she said.
Okay.
Honestly,
I do
she's
like
just
that.
the best. She really is the best. But aside from being a lawnmower, you actually want to see what you bought him for and see him contribute. So again, big night, big stage. You're Liverpool in the Champions League. They like to also say this is their competition. So they're at home. You need to start seeing what this man can do. So we don't worry about Alexander Isak, because when he comes into the side, I have no doubt Alexander Isak will hit the ground running. It's again, lot of money, but you've taken him from a Premier League club going straight into it. Has also played Champions League before. So we're looking at Florian Wirtz in a new environment. We need to start seeing something. So you don't want to get to the point where it's 007. And the chat will start saying that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, obviously, inevitably, when you arrive at a big club like Liverpool and they pay big money for you, record amounts of money, that comes with big pressure. So, but listen, inevitably he will get better, but he's going to, like Abby said, he's going to have to start showing, and tonight will be the perfect start.
I think this is a really, really good game for him
because he will see a lot of the ball
to kind of grab and take by the throat, whatever the phrase is called, and
it's not going to be like your typical Premier League game. This will be slightly more nuanced.
It's a European
game, and you're playing
they're
a team.
Always more open, no matter who you play. Like, even when English teams play English teams in Europe, they tend to be more open games. Like you think about you say that,
but the way what's more open, the Premier League or Europe?
As in, I think even when English teams play each other in Europe, I think it becomes think of the City and Liverpool games in the past when they've played each other. I think it's just they're always more open games.
Yeah,
but I don't think tonight will be open. I think you guys have already hit it on the head. there's no way Atletico are going to come to Liverpool and be expansive.
Because that's just generally how they play. I mean, overall, when you look at European ties, you are going to get a lot more expansive, open-ended football. But that's not necessarily how Atletico play. They never have played that way. So
they're very rigid. They're very defensive.
They're very structured.
Very structured.
Very, very structured.
And they're very good at what they do.
But it'll be a good tie. It'll be a good one.
It's a good test for Liverpool.
Do you think we're too harsh on players? I know I just said about Florian Wirtz, but
I think we are.
Do you think we are just as a culture, like way too fickle, way too harsh on players? Like,
you know what it's down to as well? It's the trolling of the fans. I think with the onset of social media as well, it's just become ramped up. I mean, Gyökeres, for example, the stick he gets is just like,
I know, but you don't
unbelievable.
Your fan base don't help themselves.
Yeah,
it's actually more on your fan base.
With the Gyökeres, I think it's kind of it's a fan base thing. It's like when you've got Robbie there, just
all of you
on the show,
like
just doing this all day, every day.
None of you help.
No, but he would argue that's in response to the trollers, the haters.
No, because the guy's been doing this for however long, and that's fine. But it's the fact that all your fan base, right, are like this, walking around like this, like you're grown adults.
The thing is I feel like 90% of the people who are both doing it and replying to it understand that it's lighthearted. Then there's like 10% of the people who can't stand it, and they're the really loud 10%. Like I remember all the Paul Pogba stuff, for example. I know as a United fan I talk about this. It was crazy. His first season, Paul Pogba's first season was fantastic, and all you heard was, he's only scored 7 goals, he's only got 4 assists, and he was amazing. We won like 2 or 3 trophies in that time, and he was awesome. He scored in the final, in the Europa League final, and then he was amazing a couple of seasons, and all you ever heard, like you talk about price tags, it's all I ever heard for 4 or 5 years. And when it's just kind of you hammer it in, then it ends up.
But even when he scores, people just take the mick out of the goal, or but it's only against
because
Leeds.
You call him Gyökeres, and you come up with silly behaviour.
But he is though. He's earned that right.
He's been there for 4 games.
No, I'm saying like before he come to Arsenal, he'd earned the right to be called a gunman because he's got 97 goals in 102 games.
But in an Arsenal shirt, you walk around like that, and you call him Gyökeres, and like.
But to be fair,
you do understand why your fan base is
in
so
a way,
jarring.
I get it, but you also have to understand from an Arsenal point of view,
right?
From an Arsenal fan's point of view, we've not had like that big name striker at the club for a few years. The last one was Aubameyang, and we all loved Aubameyang.
They finally got their diva.
You did it with Harry Kane. You love every club.
Did you see any Spurs fan walking around doing the Harry Kane celebration? No.
That'd be really weird.
No.
He has no real
Did you see any of us walking around like this doing the Son celebration for the last 10 years? No. Did you see us do the Delhi celebration? No.
I think it was the excitement of at last we've got a guy at the club now that we can really get behind.
Yeah, it is just Arsenal fans being giddy. It is what it is.
The Arsenal fans.
Andy's back. He's got 3 goals in like 4 games.
They're just Arsenal fans being Arsenal fans.
Fair enough.
Say no.
Chris Yao says Abby is glowing after some Spurs success. Hope is a dangerous thing.
Listen,
following it up with an immediate no.
I'm telling you, it's not even about a glow of Spurs, because after winning that trophy, I am so chilled. I feel like my life's complete. Like,
no, but on that,
complete.
let's be honest. If you don't win a trophy this season or don't have a really good season,
Laurie, nothing can ever be as bad as what I went through last year. I've lost 22 times. I've seen my team lose 22 times.
I'd argue what I went through was worse, because at least you won the final.
I know, but I know, but that, like, the margins on that are incredibly small. If we hadn't won that,
but has the weight of expectation slightly been lifted now that Thomas Frank's come in?
Not at all. Like, my thing for this, honestly, I think we spoke about it yesterday. I've said it a few times. My expectation for this season, if someone would have offered me, before a ball was kicked, 8th, and you can win a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup, I'd have said absolutely.
No, but your former chairman was on the record as saying, now we've won the...
my former chairman's not even here anymore. He's been P45.
He's gone now, right?
Bye-bye. Goodbye. No, I'm not interested in him anymore. He's gone. I've got nothing to talk about anymore.
So what are your aims and ambitions for this season?
The last 31 years.
Abby's just chilling out.
I'm chilled. My whole.
So you honestly saying you don't want to win any? You're not bothered about winning
do.
anything. You're not bothered.
That's what I'm saying. I would rather, like, if someone said to me 8th and you can have another trophy, I'd say sure, I'll take it right now because I want the trophies. But I feel full. I was starving. I was absolutely starving. I was malnourished. I needed a trophy.
I thought you was going to say as long as we beat Arsenal.
I've now seen it as an adult. I've seen my team win something. I waited 17 years. I was literally a child when I last saw that, and I've been
surely that's the springboard for more success. Surely.
Yeah, sure. I would love them to go and win something else. But again, it's a new manager. I would love them to go and win a trophy. In all honesty, I know we're not going to win the league. I know we're not going to win the Champions League. So that's why I say, if someone would say you can finish anywhere between 4th and 8th, and you could have an FA Cup,
Good
we could have a
cup
Carabao
run,
Cup,
yeah.
and win one of them, I'd say absolutely.
Because also remember,
give me
they
the
are,
trophies.
in terms of the two different projects, they are well behind Arsenal.
Oh, yeah.
Success
Oh,
for
yeah.
you is trophies.
No, yeah,
Success for
yeah.
them is European spot. And maybe a decent cup run.
No, for me, I'm not even bothered about that. My thing is, I want a trophy. If we finish 8th,
No, but
fine.
surely you want your club to start building on to
I do.
become something more sustainable, and that is just European football each season. Keep it ticking.
I do, but
and slowly
I
climbing
would
up
rather
the table.
actually collect. I would rather collect a trophy. You know, we had that under Pochettino for a long time, having European football. I actually think this squad is very good. I think that it's marginally better than when I looked at it, 5 months ago when we
Oh,
finished
yeah,
the season.
definitely. It is,
We've improved
yeah.
dramatically. Do I think it's good enough to win the Premier League? No. Do I think it's good enough to win the Champions League? No. Do I think that it could go and win an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup? Yes, I do. Do I think that it's good enough to finish between 4th and 8th? Yes. Do I think arguably it should be 6th and between 4th and 6th? Yeah. But if someone said to me, you can have a trophy and you will finish 8th, I would still take that. In terms of comparing projects, there is no comparison. They've spent nearly £1 billion. And
I like the way she deflects onto.
But that's not even a dig, right? That's just facts. They've spent that, and also we've had as many managers as they have had in the same amount of years. You know, they've had Arteta for the last 6 years. We've had
Well, this
7 different managers.
Is the question I want to ask you.
So we're nowhere near.
But what I'm thinking is, I know you've won the trophy.
Still got more trophies.
You've got that trophy, and obviously you said yesterday you got the taste for it, and it was good,
Yeah.
and you'd want to win it again. But also, you've been through the cycle of you've sacked so many managers in the last 5-6 years. So many, but you had Poch, you had
We had Poch. I'm going to try and remember them all. We've had Poch.
In order.
We've had Jose. We've had
Nuno.
Ryan Mason in between. We had Conte. We had Stellini. That was weird.
That's bizarre.
That
I
was
forgot
bizarre.
about that.
We had Ryan Mason again. Oh, I forgot about Nuno sandwiched in
Yeah.
there. Sorry, that's out of order. We had Nuno. Then we had Ange. And now we've
And
got
then
Thomas
now
Frank.
Frank. But
So
you've
that's,
been-
if
you've
I'm counting
been-
the Ryan Mason periods as well, and the Stellini one, which was
That
bizarre.
was like what 9,
then
10
we've had
managers
9.
in like 6
Wow,
years.
9 man.
So how can we even compare?
But what I'm thinking
We've
is
had
like,
no
surely you
stability.
don't want that to happen again. Like you want Thomas Frank to be there for 4, 5, 6 years.
Oh, absolutely.
And so there,
That would be the
so,
hope.
So as you can say like, oh, I kind of just finish wherever in the league and then maybe collect a trophy. I think Spurs fans, and I'm sure you are, but Spurs fans should be looking and like at least setting minimums of like instead of just saying 8th, being like just getting European.
But my
football.
minimum will be I want a trophy.
But let's say you got a trophy and finished 11th.
I've got another
You take
trophy.
it.
Yeah.
But and then do you then would
Do you
you
know
would you
why?
be happy doing that for 3 seasons in a row? You finish mid-table and then win trophies 3 years in a row,
I would take
or would
it-
you
I would
want to
take it
be
this season.
Would you want to be still climbing the table? So European spots this season, and maybe that minimum becomes top 6, and it becomes top 5. then it
Yeah,
becomes top
I would
4.
take that. Do you know why I would take that? For me, having a trophy against everything, because for 17 years I had nothing, right? And everyone hits you over the head time and time again. Spurs win nothing, always getting bullied over it. So for me, now that has been broken, we've won a European trophy. Amazing. What an amazing time. Thank you very much. Back in the Champions League, it's great. But I want more trophies because at the end of the day, that's what you're measured on. I will remember the nights
And that's what fans want.
where we won it. I won't always remember the seasons we finished top 4 when I'm 60 years old. I will not remember that when I'm on my deathbed and thinking back on my highlights for Spurs. I'm not going to remember every single season that we finished in the top 4 or played in the Champions League and got knocked out in the quarterfinals. I will care more about what I have seen my team win. And in my lifetime, I've seen us win 2 trophies. One being 4 months ago. So for me, if someone said to me this season you can finish 8th and you can have a Carabao or an FA Cup, I'd say yeah, absolutely, because I want another moment like that. I want something that I can remember and I can say to my kids, I was there.
Something tangible.
Absolutely, something that I can say. You can look back in history books and you can see this, and you can go watch it. And here's all my pictures that when Mum was there, in Bilbao or wherever it was. So that's what I want. I want to see us progress. Obviously, now that we don't have Daniel Levy there, I'm interested to see what that looks like. We've had a good summer, good window. Let's see what happens throughout the season. I like Thomas Frank. I think he's a good manager. I think he's a lot more stable than anything we've had since Pochettino. Jose was crazy, Conte, kamikaze, and I can't even put that into words. So in between all the other things as well, Nuno, what was that? So I'm looking for some stability, and if that looks like being somewhere between 4th and 8th, I'll take it. And if that looks like me getting a trophy at the end of it, I won't speak for every Spurs fan, but that's fine with me. I went into this season.
And let's not underestimate what Abby says is right there as well from a fan's perspective. At the end of the day, fans want those glory nights, or that's what they remember.
Yeah.
I can remember going to Cardiff and we fluked FA Cup win over you guys on penalties, but that was a fantastic day out. I'd rather that over just ordinary
And
Champions
also,
League nights.
remember
any
when
day of
Arsene
the
Wenger
week.
was there, right? Arsene Wenger, everything. It was like, oh, top four's not a trophy.
Yeah, they didn't win
and they
anything.
kind of, like, I'm not digging on you here, but like Arsene Wenger in that period of time made top four the goal, like just to be in the conversation of being in the Champions League, which is amazing. And you want to do that because you can attract the best players. But ultimately it gets to a point where you need more. You want to see a return on investment, which for me was so frustrating with the Pochettino era because it wasn't his fault, with everything with the stadium move, the lack of transfers, going 2 windows, I think it was over that actually, without any transfers. It hindered us so much and set the project back so much because we had so much going on off of the pitch that we actually never really got to see the rewards of that team that he built, and then obviously got sacked after fluking it to a Champions League final.
But you know what? The corollary to that is what's happened to United. So under Ten Hag, they won a couple of trophies, but then the trajectory in terms of the
Just
overall
collapsed.
But the clubs are
went
so
down.
different.
Yeah.
The clubs are so different. You're talking about the biggest club in football, arguably, you know, Manchester United, and the expectation and the bar that Manchester United had. Anyone that came after Sir Alex Ferguson was always going to struggle. Did we ever think that we'd be looking at that 10, 11 years later?
12 years later, and it's like this.
And it's the same, no, but they have still collected things along the way. Obviously now they're in a different category, but I look at Tottenham and I see the instability that we have had. The only stable patches I can ever say in my lifetime have been under Redknapp and under Pochettino. So if we can go and get stability under Thomas Frank and have a manager that is there for more than 3 seasons, or well, actually, do you know what, it's less than that, 18 months, then we can start doing that and start building something. But I haven't been able to see that. So my thing for his first season in charge, just finish top 10. Let's see if we can get a trophy. To
I
stabilise
think,
the
I
club and
think
let's
you
push
should
on.
be. I think Spurs should be aiming for European football, like it'd be that Conference Europa or Champions League. I think.
but
I
that
think,
would be between fourth and eighth.
Is 8th Europa League? Sorry, Conference League.
I think it's
7th, isn't it?
7th, 8th.
or
Well,
eighth.
just the aim European football top 8.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to finish this by going through 6 games tonight.
'Kay.
Give me some score predictions.
All right.
So first one up: Olympiacos versus PAOK FC. Score predictions.
Olympiacos at home are always going to be hard to beat, aren't they?
Yeah.
They've got a rabid crowd, so I'm going to go with them. I don't know too much about their opponents.
It's Marinakis boys, isn't it?
Who is it, PAOK?
Paphos FC.
Oh, up the Cyprus. Up the Cyprus. Oh, God, it's Greece versus Cyprus.
Cyprus.
Oh, no, I'm back in Paphos. Definitely.
I mean, a lot of the away teams have won so far in the Champions League yesterday. Apart from Spurs were at home, but
Olympiacos at home are said to be.
Olympiacos at home.
Oh, no, I'm back. I'm back.
That's currently 10 minutes in, 0-0.
No.
Slavia Prague versus Bodo Glimt. Obviously, you know a bit about Bodo,
Love
having
Bodo.
played them last season.
Yeah, I feel like we owe them. We owe them.
So you're gonna break them to win away from home against Slavia Prague?
Yeah, go on, 2-1 Bodo.
Nah, I'm going Slavia.
Slavia.
Yeah, Bodo, pretty average side.
I haven't done mine. Olympiacos win, and I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw for Slavia Prague and
I'm
2-0
going
win for
Paphos.
Olympiacos.
I'm going Paphos win.
And then we got the 8 p.m. games: Ajax at home versus Inter Milan.
Oh, nice game.
I fancy
Obviously, Inter
Ajax.
Milan Champions League finalists last season.
Yeah, but again, Ajax at home are one of those teams that, and the crowd get behind them. They always have some good, young, talented players.
The big stadium as well, what, 60,000 seats or something, I believe?
Yeah, they're very difficult to beat at home, Ajax. I'm going Ajax.
You going to have
2-1.
a score prediction?
2-1.
2-1. You
1-0.
went 1-0. I was going to go 1-0 as well.
Nice.
1-0 or Inter Milan 2-1 win. And then Bayern Munich versus Chelsea. Big score prediction. I saw a lot of Chelsea predictions in here, a lot of positive Chelsea predictions, and then the other ones were like 4-0 Bayern. I'm going to go 3-2 Bayern.
I was actually thinking about doing the same. I want to be different to you, though. I don't want to be the same.
Laurie, what's your prediction?
I'm going
While you
3-1
think about
Bayern.
it? 3-1 Bayern. Abby?
I think I did say earlier this week that I thought it would be 3-1. So I'm going to match. I'm going to match it 3-1 Bayern.
No, London Experience says, Abby, you said 3-1 to
Oh,
Bayern
then there we
earlier
go. I'm
this
sticking
week.
to
Stick
it.
to your guns.
I'm sticking to my
So
guns.
3-1 Bayern, 3-2 Bayern. You said
3-1 Bayern.
3-1 Bayern. So unlucky Chelsea fans. Well, you never know. João Pedro could
Love a
bag
good
in the
hate
Champions
watch.
League.
How nice
And
is
then
that?
PSG Atalanta next game.
It's got
3-0 PSG.
Yeah,
I'm going to go.
2-0 PSG.
Because PSG are at home here as well.
Yeah, 2-1. No, 2-0 PSG.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously PSG did get rid of Donnarumma, but Lucas Chevalier, I think is how you say his name, from Lille, still a good goalkeeper.
Where
very good
is
goalkeeper.
Atalanta in terms of Italy?
What,
I actually
location?
don't know.
Location. This is a really random thing, but I was flying back from Milan the other day, and they had an Atalanta shop in the airport, and I was like, I feel like it's not even near Milan.
Is
but
it northern Italy?
I could be really wrong here.
Maps.
Anyone that knows?
They are North Italy.
Yeah, I
They're
thought it was
Are they
right,
near-
right
they
up at the
actually
top.
are. Okay, I had no
Yeah, right
idea
on
they
the
were in
top.
Milan because I was like,
Bermajo, as the comments are saying, or Bergamo. Sorry, I'm so dyslexic. Right, final game to predict is Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid at Anfield. This is the hard one, I think,
Liverpool
to call.
Losing, to be honest.
I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool this game.
I was going to go 2-1.
But I think 3-1 Liverpool from 70th minute onwards, kind of thing.
You know what? I think I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool.
I certainly can't see them losing at home.
I will go. Something in me is saying 2-2.
Happy Human says Liverpool 1, Atletico 2 in the
I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2.
2-2. Don't know why, but just going for it.
But you heard it, Liverpool fans, 2-2 from
Sorry.
Abby. I predicted a win.
I usually do back you always.
And Laurie predicted a win well. But 6 p.m, that's the end of the show. Just rounding up. Remember, there's loads of Champions action on tonight, and there's lots of stuff coming to...
Come off the bench.
Do you think he's going to score?
Yes. Yes.
Well, there's a call for you, Liverpool fans. Isak to score his goal on his debut in the Champions League at home against Atletico Madrid.
75.
Yeah, I think he'll get 15, 20 minutes.
I reckon he'll get a goal.
But regardless, it's been great with you two. Thank you for coming on today.
Welcome.
Abby, second show in a row.
I'll see you.
You're going to become a regular.
Oh, yeah, I'll see you next week.
Going to become a regular. Laurie as well. It's great to have you on.
No, it's great to be on. Thanks
All
for
of
having
you
me.
guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed the Champions League Roundup show. We'll be here at 5 p.m. tomorrow to preview all the other games going on. We've got Europa League games, Conference League games, and I think even more Champions League games are on tomorrow. Endless football, and they'll be here on Thursday at 5 p.m. and Friday at 5 p.m. also to look ahead to the weekend of the Premier League, because the English football will come back after the 9 Premier League teams that are playing in midweek in the Champions League. Apart from then, I'll see you in 23 hours. Check all the social links below. Make sure to subscribe. Behind the scenes access as well with the I forgot what it's even called. The membership, that's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
DR Sports membership, behind the scenes access and everything else. On there you get special members badges and everything. So I can see you in the comments, see who you are, who have subscribed. Apart from that, you check all the social links below for everyone. Like, subscribe, follow, and I will see you tomorrow.